What's up, YouTube? Timu's here. Now, of course, February is pretty much over here. I'm, of course, going to be doing my February 2024 film rankings. Of course, the films that I saw released in February. Now, I pretty much saw about 28 movies in the whole February. I didn't really see, lots. Like, there's some stuff I sort of missed out on. Like, I didn't really get to see Land of Bad or Out of Darkness. There was some other one I missed out, so obviously they're not going to be in those lists. But these I actually did got around to seeing. Either I was just bored and wanted to check something out, or anything else. But here are my 2024 February ranking. All right, from worst to good, obviously. All right, number 28, the worst movie I saw in February. Believe it or not, it's not Madam Web. The worst film I saw in February, number 28, goes to Tyler Perry's Mia Copa. I like Tyler Perry. I like his Medea movies. Even some of his non-Medea stuff, I don't mind. Like the Single Moms Club a couple years ago, that was pretty decent. Daddy's Low Girl was a pretty good one. So Tyler Perry has some like non-Medea movies that I do quite enjoy. But sometimes his non-Medea stuff isn't always the best in my opinion. Like Acrimony, that one he did with Kim Kardashian a couple years ago, and Mia Copa is one of them. This movie is garbage. It's horrible. This movie makes 50 Shades of Grey. Between stuff like, 365 Days After, now Mia Copa, I gotta I gotta become Thanos with the 50 Shades movies. Perhaps I treat you harshly. These movies just might be worse than 50 Shades. I mean, if you guys don't know much about the story here, you got Kelly Rowland, who I've always liked, from Destiny Child. Her song "Mabu" is a fan favorite of mine. I mean, who doesn't love Kelly Rowland? Come on. Of course, you had Trevante Rhodes, who is a great actor. I did quite like him in Moonlight. He's been in some other cool stuff I've enjoyed. So here, of course, you got Kelly Rowland, who plays this criminal defense attorney who takes on the case of a seductive artist accused of murdering his girlfriend. But when Burning Desire takes hold, things of course get very hot. There is nothing to like. The acting in this is painful. This movie has Razzies written over it. I'm pretty sure Madam Web's gonna sweep the Razzies, but this could definitely be up to. So, hopefully that new World War II movie Tyler Perry has coming out that soon. Hopefully that's better, but we'll see. Anyway, number 27 is of course Madam Web. Hey, yeah. Madam Web. Oh boy. If you guys know, Sydney Sweeney actually hosted SNL last night. Even she poked fun at Madam Web. I forgot. Where she said, "You might know me from Euphoria and from Bachu. You definitely did not see me in Madam Web." We know that Sony is probably on the phone with Sydney Sweeney at this moment. But oh yeah, Madam Web is just awful. The dialogue was terrible. The villain. I I owe the villain of the Marvels an apology now. I thought that was like one of the worst Marvel villains in recent years. I like the Marvels, by the way, but I would admit the villain that was terrible. The villain in this just might be worse. And I even saw that because the guy who plays the villain is French. They actually dubbed his lines, which you could definitely tell actually. After rewatching it and stuff, you could definitely tell that they dubbed his lines. But oh god, this was just so bad. It was a complete flop. What's gonna happen with Craven beyond me? But all I know is maybe they'll send give Spider-Man back to Marvel. Who knows? But yeah, man, the dialogue. Oh god, some worse dialogue. I mean, yeah. Anyway, number 26 is the movie I decided to get a movie that probably no one actually probably heard of, but I decided to, and curiosity, give it a go. And it's a film called Midnight Peep Show. It's about a man who stumbles across a darkly magical peep show booth, and there's like, different other girls, tell different stories and all. This movie is boring. Like, it's not all that great. The scares aren't all that terrific. The stories aren't all that interesting. Now it does have Zach Galligan, who you might know from Gremlins fame. It was cool seeing him in this. He was actually the reason why I wanted to check this out because I've always liked him on Gremlins. So, but yeah, this just definitely your generic B level horror film. It's just not all that great. It's not all that scary. It's boring, like completely boring. It's not that great from there. All right. Number 25 is another action movie I got you. For some reason I decided to give a go. And that is Air Force One Down. Not Air Force, not to confuse with the Harrison Ford action classic. This one is titled Air Force One Down. It stars Catherine McNamara, who you might know from Arrow fame. You also had Anthony Michael Hall, Dasha Palanca, who I've always liked shit by that. Now here you got Catherine McNamara, who plays Allison Miles, a Secret Service agent who is forced to save the President of the United States after terrorists attempt to hijack Air Force One. And Catherine McNamara, I actually quite enjoyed her on Arrow. Like, I still never seen that Walker show she did. I think it was called Walker Independence. She was also on that Shadowhunters show. I do adore her, but she wasn't all that great in this. I mean, this really did feel like a weird ripoff of Air Force One. The action wasn't all that great. This feels like just, let's say, if you guys know the Asylum, right? The people who did those those mockbusters such as Transmorphers, Atlantic Rim, and all. This feels like if the Asylum did Air Force One, this is what we got. And it's just not so good. So, yeah. All right. Number 24, I'm going with No Way Up. I just literally call this Snakes on a Plane meets Jaws. That's what this really is. It's where trapped underwater when their plane crashes into the ocean. Survivors must find a way to escape the sharks as sharks start circle the wreckage. Now, people might ask, how could sharks get on a plane? Unlike snakes on a plane, obviously you cannot bring a shark on a plane, unless if it's in a tank, I guess. But even then, you can. They're actually they're sinking into the water, and obviously the sharks are all around there. So that's what they mean by that. I just call the Snakes on a Plane meets Jaws because obviously there's no snakes, but it definitely feels a little bit like an animal on a plane, but with sharks here. This just is another one of those generic B-level shark films. It's something like, let's say, Sharknado or anything like that. It just really feels something like it's not even over the top as, let's say, Jaws of Revenge, but it's really terrible one. The acting is great. This really do feel like a low level sci-fi network film. It's a terrible one. So yeah. All right. Number 23 is a slasher film that I decided to watch on Valentine's Day, and it's called My Bloody Galentine. Not to be confused with My Bloody Valentine. Like, who remembers My Bloody Valentine? Come on. My Bloody Galentine is about 3 women who plot revenge on their exes after they are dumped before Valentine's Day. Their attempt to get even turns deadly. So, of course, you got this killer who's, targeting these, what do you call them? These douchebags one by one. And the acting in this isn't so great. It's a Tubi film, so you know what obviously you're getting with Tubi. The acting is horrendous. It's not all that great. The kills aren't even on. Okay, there was actually this one kill in like this man's room. I think it was called a man's room or something like that. There was actually one cool kill, but other than that, the kills wasn't all that great. I mean, the characters wasn't all that likable. It's not that great of a film there. So, yeah. All right. Number 22 is Players. Now, of course, you got Gina Rodriguez, who I love Gina Rodriguez, who plays Mac, who's a sports writer from New York City, who spends her time by making hookup schemes alongside Adam, played by Damon Wayans Jr., her best friend. When Mac meets Nick, a war correspondent, Mac makes a decision that she is ready for a relationship. Adam, along with her other friends, assists Mac in convincing Nick that she is ready for a relationship with her. Now you do got Tom Ellis from Lucifer fame. Joe Courtney's also in this. Liza Koshy had some cool cast members. But that aside, this is an awful one. Awful. It's not all that funny. It really felt like let's say, a ripoff of Hitch in a weird way. The performances aren't all that great. I really did not care for this one much at all. I mean, it's a shame too because it is from the same director of Pitch Perfect 3, which I enjoyed. But yeah, this is definitely not a great one. All right. Number 21 is Argylle. Now, Argylle, I was so disappointed by it. I was so excited for this. You got Matthew Vaughn. I thought the trailers looked cool. So I went and see it. This just might end up early, be my early contender for most disappointing films of the year. I love the cast here. You got from Henry Cavill, who's barely not in it, from Bryce Dallas Howard to who else? Sam Jackson, Sam Rockwell. You had some cool cast members in this, but the movie just fell flat. It did not make much sense throughout. The acting wasn't all that great. This just feels like another Kingsman based film, and nothing worked out for it. So yeah, and of course it was a complete flop. So don't expect Argylle 2, Argylle 3, none of that. So yeah. Anyway, number 20 is Code 8. Now, most people are actually digging this. I tried watching Code 8. I couldn't get into it. I mean, it's not like one of the worst things I've seen on Netflix, nothing like that. I actually did check out the first film. I wasn't really big with it either, so I don't know why I even bother with the second one. But this one's just not as good as the first at all. It was cool to see, like, of course you got Stephen Amell, who I like Stephen Amell. Speaking of Arrow, but yeah, even he wasn't good enough to say that. You had Robbie Amell was also in this. It was completely boring at times. The effects didn't do anything for me. I mean, yeah, it just didn't do much at all. So yeah. Anyway, all right, number 19. I'm going with The Stepdaughter. Now, this is also another Tubi film I decided to check out. If you guys don't know much about The Stepdaughter, you'll probably be like, wait, what the heck is The Stepdaughter? Tubi doesn't really advertise their stuff as much, but anyway. It's about a teen who moves in with her birth father and new family, planning revenge on stepmom, seeking retribution for mom and grandma's stuff. So, yeah, this girl is a psychopath. I mean, this movie is not a good film at all, but it's actually one of those movies that's so bad it's good territory type films. You know what you're getting with Tubi, I mean, of course, the actress Cassandra Frey, I think her name is. She's actually more best known for that Disney Channel show, Cindy to the Max, which I don't really watch that, but it's really interesting to see a Disney girl go from an innocent Disney kid to a sociopath. That's a cool turnaround right there. You also had Annie. I could not pronounce her last name. Annie Alashna. I think that's how you pronounce her name. The performances aren't all that great, but I would say this is maybe one of the better to be films I've seen, but that's not even saying much. It's just like some of the dialogue is just pretty weak. Uh, it is produced by Marcus Houston, who I've always liked Marcus Houston. Directed by Chris Stokes, who gave us like "You Got Served," and he also did like those this stepmother, stepdaughter, stepfather ones. I mean, yeah, they're not even. This is not even connected to them either. So, yeah. All right, number 18. I'm going. Another film I was not too big with is Bosco. Now, this is based on a true story here that takes place in 2006. Quentin Bosco Adams what Quant Quante Bosco Adams plans a escape for federal maximum security prison for a chance to be at his first child's birth. Now, this one actually starred Aubrey Joseph, who you might remember from that Cloak and Dagger show on Hulu or Freeform, either way. You also had Nikki Blonsky. It was really cool to see her pop up because I've always liked her as Tracy on Hairspray. It's a shame she doesn't do anything anymore. I remember when she was first Tracy Turnblad in Hairspray from 2007. I mean, she's popped up and stuff here and there, but she hasn't like had that big breakout outside of Hairspray yet. I would have expected her to be in more stuff, but you also had like Tyrese Gibson, Vivica A. Fox. While the performances was actually decent, like I thought Aubrey Joseph really played his part well. He, definitely gave a really decent performance here. I just really found the movie a little boring here. It didn't really do anything for me. I just didn't really care for it much. So yeah, I wanted to like. I mean, it's not as bad as another Peacock film I just saw, Megamind, the recent Megamind film. It's not as like bad as that, but yeah, I just wasn't too big of it. So, all right, now the films I actually did quite enjoy, from 17 up to 1. Number 17 is the documentary Dario Argento Panico. Now, of course saw this on Shudder, and it's actually a really good documentary. Of course, it is a documentary about iconic Italian director Dario Argento, who of course gave us like Suspiria, Phantasm. This really showcase on who he is and stuff like that. And where like he writes his most famous films inside hotels, completely isolated himself from eternal reality. And of course, you got interviews by the likes of his family members, Guillermo del Toro, and stuff. This really goes like into the mind of one of the most iconic Italian directors of all time. I mean, I I'm not gonna pretend I've seen every one of his films, but obviously his most iconic stuff is so good. Like the original Suspiria, Phantasm is great. Who doesn't love Dario Argento? I mean, his movies isn't for everyone, but it's a really good one. Now, granted, the movie is not much in English, to be honest. It is actually in Italian, but it is a really good one. We're checking out. So, all right. Number 16, I'm going with Marmalade. Now, sadly, this has nothing to do with Paddington, but Marmalade is where like a recently incarcerated Baron strikes up a friendship with his new cellmate, played by Eldest Hodge, a man with a history of prison breaks. As they hatch a plan to escape, Baron recalls how he met his love of his life and how they came up with the scheme to rob banks. Now, this does star Joe Carey, who you may know from Stranger Things fame, Aldous Hodge. It's a really cool like little heist film. Definitely has like that bit of a Bonnie and Clyde feel to it, mixed with National Point Killers here. It's a really decent one. Joe Carey and his chemistry with Camilla Monroe is really good. Aldous Hodge is pretty terrific in this. It is a really cool one we're checking out. All right, number 15 is another documentary called Lover Stalker Killer. Now, this is actually a Netflix doc here, where like in this twisted documentary, a mechanic tries online dating for the first time and meets a woman who takes romantic obsession to a deadly extreme. And this is insane to believe. Like Netflix really does it cool with these like true crime docs, and here really shows that. It is insane to believe that this is based on a true story, but it really is. You know, I mean, between stuff like American Nightmare and this, Netflix knows how to do them, and this also really showcased like careful who you meet online. I would never try that online thing and stuff like it's definitely not for me, and it gets pretty dangerous. So yeah, like I mean, do people not like watch Catfish anymore or anything like that? Anyway, now number 14, I guess you could say is another documentary. This one is of course the JLo one. Of course, this is made now, which is of course was a Prime Video exclusive. It chronicles the Holly love life of actor singer Jennifer Lopez, including her relationship and personal healing. Now, this really, well, the whole thing is really a music video, but it really feels like a feature film here, and I thought it was really excellent. You do got cool support like people popping up, such as Fat Joe, Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck, you would not even recognize Ben Affleck is in this a little towards the line. So yeah, but of course you had like Jane Fonda was also in this here. You had some cool supporting players, like some cool cameos popping up. The music I thought was cool. I've always loved Jenny from the Block. Like, who does not love J Lo? Come on. And I think J Lo did a great job in this. So, and J Lo, I think, is a really good actress. Like, she really needs to stop with those type of movies like The Mother and Shotgun Wedding, because when she really wants to, she could be a really terrific actress. Like, we've seen that with Selena, we've seen that with Hustle. J-Lo could be really talented as an actress, but yeah, I mean, why she does stuff like The Mother is beyond me. But like, frankly, I think she should go and continue doing stuff like Hustle. Like, those are the type of performances that she strives with. But she is a good singer, though. So anyway, all right, number 13 is a Lifetime movie here. That's right, I do watch Lifetime movies once in a while. This one I had to check out though, because this sounded intriguing. And it's a movie titled Abducted Off the Street. Uh, Now, it's about Clarissa Freeland Gelter gets abducted by a homicidal predator while walking home from a family gathering. Determined to survive and outsmart her captor, she leaves clues behind every opportunity while her mother stops at nothing to find her. Now, Lifetime movies could be a hit and miss sometimes. This is maybe one of the better ones I've seen. It is so good. The one who plays the lead girl here, Relil Downs, I thought she was terrific. The one who plays the capture, I forgot his name, Sam something. I think his name is Sam Ashton, something like that. I thought he was great. The other supporting players was terrific. It is insane to believe that this actually happened, and the cops, like, I'm sorry, but the cops really, because of course it does showcase like there are people who go missing all the time and they're never found, and the cops doesn't really do as much as they should. And this really showcased that. But a little bit of a spoiler. It's a happy ending, so that's good. But it's still really interesting one. It gets very intense at times. Like, I mean, obviously, I actually recommend. Like, yeah, I did this. Said this with the article. Do not Google about what happened. What happened? Go watch before doing research or anything like that, because it's actually gets really intense throughout. Like, I didn't really knew much about this true story before I saw this film, and oh boy, I got chills in my spine. Like, it's it's a really good one. I mean, with these films, like, these do show you really gotta be careful. Like, when you go outside, by yourself and stuff. And oh boy, this one really shows that. All right, number 12. I'm going with The Tiger Apprentice. Now, this movie did not really get much love, but I actually thought it was really cool. Should have went to theaters, but to be honest, I kind of see why they decided to drop this thing on Paramount Plus. But so I thought it was a really cool one. Like, definitely has the bit of a Kung Fu Panda vibe. I like the voice talents from Henry Golding to Michelle Yeoh and all. It's a really cool one. Really entertaining. Cute, charming. Again, the voice house is great. I thought it was, like the visuals was cool. It's a really good one. I mean, I still wish a bunch of theirs, but hey, not every movie could be the accurate release, right? All right. Now, number 11, I'm going with Drugstore June. Now, this movie, of course, stars Esther Povitsky, who plays June, who's this wannabe influencer who's juggling multiple problems. Her parents want her to move out. Her ex-boyfriend accuses her of stalking him. And two detectives think she may be involved in a robbery of a local pharmacy. And the cast is really cool, too. Like, you actually do have obviously got Haley Joel Osment, Miranda Cosgrove, Bill Burr, Bobby Lee, Beverly D'Angelo, the Catch Me Outside, How About That Girl, Danelle Bergoli, or you might know her as her stage name, Bad Bunny, which this movie is fun and everything. She's not really ready to be an actress yet. Like, her line to this was Razzie worthy. I kid you not. When the Razzie Awards comes out and she doesn't get a nomination for Worst Supporting Actress, I'll be so surprised. But I still enjoy it though. I mean, it is from the director of Grandma's Boy, which I love Grandma's Boy. And this is a really cool. Like I like Esther Povitsky. I think she is really hilarious. The other cast members like Matt Walsh popped me up was great. I actually had fun time with this. Like other than the Bad Bunny scene, trying her hand acting, I still enjoy this a lot. So yeah. Now here are my official top 10 favorite films of the whole of them all. All right, number 10, I'm going with Orion and the Dark. I thought this was a really terrific anime film. Far better than the recent Megamind film, which I'll talk about that when March ends. But Orion, I thought was a really terrific one. Very stylish, cool voice talents from Jacob Tremblay to Paul Walter Hauser. Angela Bassett was great in this. It's a really terrific one. Worth checking out. All right. Number 9, I'm going with Upgraded. Much better than I had any intentions being. Like, I was really ready to just bash on this and everything. I thought it was a really nice little rom com. Definitely feels like this generation's Devils Wear Prada. Definitely has a bit of that feel. Camille Mendes, I adore in this. Archie Renux, I thought was cool. Marissa Tomei, I could have done without the accent. But I actually thought she was really cool in this. Really felt like Meryl Streep from Devil Wears Prada in a weird way. Um, it's a really cool and charming one worth checking out. All right, number 8. This one's a little cheap because it's technically not a movie; it's more of a special. But hey, so is this is the Jennifer Lopez one, so I'm considering it as a film. Number 8, Snoopy presents Welcome Home, Franklin. I adore this one. Like, if you guys don't know much about it, the plot revolves around Franklin, the son of a military man, moving to a new town, struggling to make friends before ultimately parting and bonding with Charlie Brown over racing in the soapbox derby. This is actually the first like Peanuts film, to center on a black kid, and I thought they did an excellent job with this. Like, it also showcased like some Black history. I thought was cool. Uh, you know, funny that he was messing around with Charlie Brown, saying, "Are you related to James Brown?" I chuckled with that one. I thought this was an excellent one. Like, who does not love Snoopy, Charlie Brown, and the gang? And Apple's been doing a lot of these. Like, they have like a couple of Snoopy shorts. I mean, I feel like Apple is like the home of the Peanuts gang now. So they're supposed to be doing like a Peanuts movie coming out. I think either this year. I believe that's the New York one. So hey, get ready for more Peanuts gang, people. Who doesn't love the Peanuts? Come on. All right. Number 7, I'm going with Spaceman. Now you could probably ask yourself, wait, didn't it just premiere on Netflix this week? Yes, but I was able to watch this at during its theatrical run, in February. So I'm counting as a February release, and it's a really good one. I mean, it's a little slow burn, maybe like the most slowest Adam Sandler movie I've ever seen. To be honest, yeah. I mean, even some of the dramatic stuff isn't all that slow. Like even Uncut Gems speeds up. Even like Punch Drunk Love, Hustle. Even some of his like dramatic stuff are not as slow as. This is probably one of the most slowest Adam Sandler movies I have ever seen, but it's still a pretty good one here. Sandler I thought did a great job with this. Like I said in my review, it's he isn't as good in this as let's say he was in Uncut Gems or Punch on Glove. Like if the Oscars rolled around and he was not nominated for Best Actor, I wouldn't complain much because I didn't really thought he was like as Oscar worthy in this as he was in something like Uncut Gems. But he was still excellent. His chemistry with the spider, I took, voiced by Paul Dano was cool. Some of the flashback sequence between him and his wife, played by Carey Mulligan, I thought was great. It's a really good film. Slow, yes, but still good, nonetheless. All right. Number 6, I'm going with Scrambled. Now, this, of course, stars and is directed by Leah McKendrick, who plays Nellie Robinson, who is broke, single 34-year-old who, after a breakup, decides to freeze her eggs. Now, you think that might sound like a weird premise. It's actually more better than you expect. Like, I know Leah McKendrick, who's actually, by the way, writing the new I Know What You Did Last Summer relaunch. She, of course, directs and stars in this. I thought she did an excellent job in this. Edgar Nodum was also great in this. Adam Rodriguez pops up in this. You also had Clancy Brown was also in this. Andrew Santino, who stole lots of scenes as her brother. I thought this definitely was very charming. Was very funny. Leah McHenry, I hope she directs something else in the future because I thought she did a really good job with this. It is a really decent film worth checking out, so definitely give it one to go. All right. Number 5, I'm going with Bob Marley, One Love. I thought this was a really terrific biopic. Kingsley Benadir, I thought was a really great Bob Marley. Lashana Lynch, maybe an early Oscar contender. I thought she was terrific. The music was great. It was obviously a major box office smash. A very surprise one there, no less too. So, paid more money than Madam Web, that's for sure. So yeah, I mean, Paramount's real. Like after this, we're gonna be seeing Paramount do more, music biopics. They got one about the Bee Gees coming. There's of course one about Robert Williams in the works. So Paramount is gonna be getting really busy with music biopics here. So yeah. Anyway, all right. Number 4, I'm going with Ordinary Angels. This movie was much better than Hanging Texas Thing. This could just been another terrible Christian religious propaganda film. It really wasn't. This is far better than that movie that came out last February, the Jesus Revolution. This is far better than that, in my opinion. Of course, like Hilary Swank was great. Albert Richardson was excellent. Really touching at times. Really showcased how far people go to help someone in need. How far they would go to help their us a kid. It's a really wonderful one here. So and Ordinary Angels actually made some pretty good though, too. Like, still in the top 5 in the box office, so kudos to that. Anyway, number 3, I'm going with Drive Away Daughters. This one is a lot of fun. I mean, this is not really going to be one for everyone, but I thought it was a really cool one. Margaret Qualley and Geraldine Miss Wennon, I thought it was great. Beanie Felicity was great. Of course, Ita Cohen directing was pretty cool. Nice seeing Matt Damon, Pat Pascal popping up. It's a really cool one worth checking out. All right. Number 2, I'm going with Lisa Frankenstein. Lisa Frankenstein was also a big surprise. I mean, if I do my top 10 most surprises of the year, Lisa Frankenstein would probably be on that one. I mean, it was even more bloodier for a PG-13 film than you expect. But it's a really good one. The chemistry between Catherine Newton and Cole Sprouse I thought was great. Uh, Diablo Kobe doing the writing for this was terrific. Zelda Williams, of course, the daughter of Rob Williams, did a great job with her directorial debut. It's a really decent, funny one. Really cool throwback to 80s horror and stuff like that. It's a really decent one. All right, and my number one, and to me the best movie I saw in February is Suncoast. This is of course on Hulu. You can check it out there. You got Lulu Wilson, who plays this young woman dealing with her brother's serious illness. and is forming an unusual friendship with a eccentric activist. Woody Harrelson was excellent. He, of course, plays the activist. Laura Linney was great. The one who plays like Nico's character, like her friends is. I don't date. One of them is actually played by YouTuber Baby Ariel, and she actually did decent for a part too. I mean, it's a really decent one. Terrific performance all around. Laura Charon, I believe, yeah, this was actually her directorial debut. Uh, you know, yeah, go ahead, Stace. She did a great job with this. So if you guys haven't seen it, give it a go. It's on Hulu, so definitely give it a go. But that's pretty much it there. Now here is, of course, the rundown. All right. My least favorite movies of the whole year. 28 Meat Copa, 7 Madam Web, 26 Midnight Pizza, 25 Air Force One Down, 24 No Way Up, 23 My Bloody Galentine, 22 Players, 21 Argyle, 20 Code 8, 19 The Stepdaughter, and 18 Bosco. My other some of my other favorites out of February. 17 Dario Argento Panico, 16 Marmalade, 15 Lover Stalker Killer, 14 This Is On Me Now, 13 Abducted Off the Streets, 12 The Tiger Apprentice, 11 Drugstore June, and my official top 10 of the year, or of February, I should say. 10 Orion in the Dark, 9 Upgrade, 8 Snoopy Presents Welcome Home Franklin, 7 Spaceman, 6 Scrambled, 5 Bob Marley One Love, 4 Ordinary Angels, 3 Driveway Doors, 2 Lisa Frankenstein, and 1 is Suncoast. Let me leave you guys. What are some films you've enjoyed that you've seen in February you've enjoyed? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. This is Timmy signing off.